Anthony Edwards AE2 has been everywhere currently, but we're gonna go ahead and figure out whether this is actually worth your money, because I was actually able to wear these for about, I would say, a day or two, and honestly, what I was able to figure out honestly surprised me. So let's go ahead and talk about this video. And first, I kind of want to talk about how I was able to come upon this sneaker. Now, of course, if you're new to the channel, you maybe don't know, but I always am trying to keep up to date with all the new sneaker releases. So with that being said, this was one that I decided to get. I got from my Dick's Sporting Goods, and also kind of piggyback on that idea of me kind of like staying on top of the sneaker trends and like the releases. Make sure you guys comment down below anything you guys want to see on the channel. I'm going to go ahead and try my best to get every single request answered. More further on this shoe, you know, I was kind of just looking at new sneaker releases, and this is honestly, I think, the newest release that I was able to get my hands on. A lot of these releases, especially collabs and things like that, they're really hard to get on hand because I feel like they don't really sell them at, like, you know, the Foot Lockers, the Champs, and all those different type of things. But this one I was grateful enough to get at, I believe I got it at Chic. I did go ahead and pick these up. They do have some great sneaker releases like that come out pretty on time at their stores. But I got these from Chic, and I gotta say, very beautiful sneaker. I think they're called the With Loves, but sometimes you can't find that under that name. So I guess they have it under like acid orange, and a couple other colors too that I probably put in the video because I can't remember off the top of my head. I gotta say, very nice shoe, very good comfort, very nice design, and we're gonna kind of uncover all those different type of things in different sections of the video. So feel free to check out the video chapters down below if you want to go ahead and see any specific part. First and foremost, I do want to go ahead and tell you guys about the design and first impressions, and the design is quite different. You know, I kind of wanted to get that AE1 comparison video, but I unfortunately didn't think about it until I got this sneaker. So let me know in the comment section you guys want me to make that video, or I can go ahead and link you guys to a video that's been made already. I've seen a video on the internet because I am trying to stay on top of the whole sneaker community and things like that. But let me know if you guys want me to make that kind of comparison and kind of see like what are the changes, see if it's great changes or bad changes. But yeah, design looks very nice, colors very poppy. I believe they have another colorway too, so I'll put that link in the description, as well as these shoes right here. And if, of course, if you do purchase, it does help out the channel, so I greatly appreciate it. But a little about design, you guys. The AE2 has a sleeker silhouette than that AE1. That's kind of like a little comparison factor. It is said that it's lighter. Then again, I haven't tried the AE1s, so this is just based off research. And it's said to have a more balanced look. Now the mesh and TPU blend upper is much better for that breathability when compared to that AE1. It definitely has a very aggressive traction pattern underfoot, as you guys can kind of see, and I also will do some B-roll clips. And that is kind of interesting. I wonder why they kind of added this little design here on the bottom. It's kind of pretty cool. This is definitely built for explosive guards, of course, just like Anthony Edwards. He is definitely a crazy guard, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to be going on this season, y'all. I don't really watch basketball as much as I used to, but I am a hooper. So yeah, I'm excited to see what AE is able to do with these shoes right here. And I'm sure these will definitely be built to tailor to him. So maybe if you're a basketball player in the market for these, maybe if you're a point guard, shooting guard, or something like that, or maybe you just want a nice light sneaker that's going to allow you to be explosive and just more agile, this is probably going to be a great pick. But yeah, we're going to talk about a little about performance and things like that. But I like this little carbon fiber detail right here. It's pretty cool. But also, I do want to tell you guys, once you feel that foam setup underneath, it's quite something I didn't expect. And you'll realize Adidas might have fixed it from the AE1s. That's kind of like one thing I've seen online a lot, that they kind of fixed that overall comfort and things like that for the AE1s. So let's go ahead and talk about the comfort and cushioning, you guys. The midsole uses that light boost foam, you guys, and that light boost foam, you can't really see it when looking at the sneaker. There's like no indication of it that I can see. But with that being said, it just ultimately allows for more bounce and a lighter feel than the AE1. Now, as far as that step-in comfort, you definitely get a nice soft step-in comfort right out of the box. I literally just did a Nike Air Foamposite review the other day. If you guys want to check it out, I'll put the info card up here. But I gotta say, man, that sneaker right there, it definitely takes some breaking in. I've never been a Foamposite person either. That was probably the first Foamposite I've had on my feet, and I never thought it would be that, like, what's the word for it? It just is very like, it doesn't allow for very much like room to like have a nice step in, if that kind of makes sense. It's very like, I don't know, I'm losing the word, but it's very just stiff. That's the word I'm trying to find. It's very stiff, and it definitely is not welcoming when it comes out the box. But as far as that being said, this shoe is probably going to give you a little less break-in time compared to a couple other shoes. And also the eternal padding around the heel keeps you with a very nice solid lockdown. I gotta say, this is very nice. I felt it right when I put the shoe on, you guys. I'm gonna show you guys a little better too, but you guys can see it has very nice heel lockdown towards that heel section. But then we're gonna go ahead and talk about the traction, you guys. And I feel like Adidas has always been well with traction. When I was to hoop, I used to wear like the Damian shoes. I used to wear Hardens here and there. I used to have a couple of other Adidas, and I even seen people with Adidas that had crazy traction. So as far as that traction and performance, and of course take this with a grain of salt because this is gonna be very much research focused. You do have a directional traction pattern along the bottom. You do have two different colors, you guys. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but there's like a pink, a more hotter pink, or like and then like an orange. But yeah, they have a lot of different colors going on with different traction patterns. And then you also do have like slight slippage on like the dusty floors. But then again, dusty floors, you're gonna get slippage because the floor is dusty and not really clean. But I gotta say, if you're gonna be running on a clean court or things like that, and I'm obviously talking about in an indoor environment, it's gonna be very, very great. Now, that being said, you will need an occasional wipe with those dusty floors, but this shoe should be pretty good. You do have a very nice stable feeling on those step backs and crossovers. So with that being said, the weight is pretty balanced. I want to say it is not ultra light, but it's kind of in the middle. It's definitely not on the heavier side. So with that being said, it is very supportive for your guards, wings, and things like that. But you guys, we have to go ahead and we're going to lean into something that I didn't really expect to matter much. And that's going to be the fit and build quality with these right here. Now, as far as the fit, these are true to size for me. I did get me a size, I believe 10.5, and they fit really good. Now, a little food for thought. When I look for a shoe that, for me personally, I feel like I've already hit my max shoe size. So kind of consider that too when you're buying the shoe if you haven't really hit your shoe size, like your maximum potential. But for me, I like a shoe that kind of fits. Like I want my toe to kind of not be at the end, but kind of somewhere like close to the end. Because then again, I don't want my toes to feel all stretched. At the end of the day, I do want a little bit of space. So that's kind of what I look for when I mean true to size. So I got a 10.5 in these, which I am across the board with other shoes. So definitely true to size. This is definitely going to be kind of snug in the forefoot. But yeah, I think this is pretty wide foot friendly. I honestly recommend going in store if you can to try them on. But if you're going to be shopping online, maybe if you're wide footed, maybe go up a half a size. I wouldn't go too crazy on it. But yeah, if possible, definitely go ahead and try these in person to go ahead and see how it's going to fit. Because I definitely recommend it. You definitely don't want to have to go through that whole return to kind of get the sneakers returned and get them back. That's like a whole process we definitely don't want to go through. But the materials definitely feel pretty premium. The TPU cage has that durability as well. It is definitely breathable, you guys. You have the little holes on the side right here. You have holes along here, and of course along this whole part. With that being said, it's not elite. The breathability is definitely not elite, but it definitely, I would say, gets the job done pretty well compared to like Nike or like Puma models. But let's go ahead and we're going to talk about how this kind of stacks up in terms of pros and cons side by side. So this shoe definitely has some excellent lockdown. I was kind of talking about before in that heel and things of that nature. And the stability is definitely explosive for players. So that's the first pro out of 4. Next, I do want to say that light boost cushioning feels springy and responsive. So if you're looking for that, that is going to do a great job. It has a very nice, clean, and futuristic design, which I feel like they did well, not only with this iteration, but also the first iteration. And then you also do have some great heel support. Now, a couple of cons I'm going to give you guys. Of course, I'm going to give you guys about 3. So first things first is the traction can be inconsistent on those dusty courts, which I feel like that's kind of understanding. I feel like not all shoes can be grippy in dusty courts, but I feel like that is definitely kind of a given. But I also do want to say you have a little bit of stiffness for casual wear. I don't know if people wear this for casual wear, but I guess if you are, it may be a little stiff, and I would recommend you to try a couple of comfortable options. And if you want some, I'll give you guys a bunch of lists right here. I have a whole playlist with comfortable sneakers, everyday sneakers, lifestyle, things like that, which I feel like would be more accommodating for casual wear. But as far as the price point, I believe these are around 120 to 130, which is pretty great. We got running sneakers out here nowadays coming out for $200, $300 and things like that, which is quite crazy. But I feel like the Adidas or the AEs have been really consistent and good and reasonable with their pricing. So definitely, if you want a sneaker that's gonna be reasonable with pricing and it kind of checks all the boxes you want, I can definitely safely recommend this shoe. Like, it's not gonna be something you're gonna regret. But the real question after all that, is it actually worth it buying in 2025? Now, I'm gonna kind of give you guys, I would say, the best of both worlds. I feel like that's the best way to kind of answer this, because I feel like it kind of depends. So if you're a like a guard or a small forward and you kind of rely on quick moves, these are probably going to be absolutely worth it for your case. They've got balance, and that Ant-Man level of explosiveness. So for sure, if you want that type of feel, tap in with this shoe, link in the description. But if you are wearing them for casual wear, or you want to hoop on some dusty outside courts, you might be better off saving your money or waiting for the price to drop in the future, you guys. They also do have, if you're looking for a price drop, the AE ones are solid, you guys. I was literally in Chic the other day. I literally recorded a whole vlog, which I don't know if it's gonna come out before or after this video, but I was looking at them and they're on sale. I'm not sure what the exact sale price was, but I think they were at like 79, which is crazy. So yeah, definitely check out the AE ones if you want something that's going to be a little bit more budget friendly. I feel like you can't go wrong with those shoes, and I saw a lot of great reviews on that shoe right there. I did have the chance to have those sneakers, but unfortunately I didn't do a review on it. I kind of just used it for the channel for like some thumbnails and like a top 10 video. But I gotta say, very, very great shoe. And yeah, you guys, if this review kind of helped you out, make sure to leave a like on the video, maybe share with like another guard or someone on your team, if you kind of want to like just give the info out. But with that being said, remember to subscribe to the channel if you want a lot of consistent sneaker reviews. I also try to try to include some like self-improvement videos and kind of like story times with me, so you guys kind of get a little bit of me too, but also some value. So that being said, you guys, if you do want that content, make sure to subscribe, like, and also hit that notification bell. But you guys, I do these sneaker reviews a lot. I think I have over 90 at this point. So with that being said, click the playlist right here so you can go ahead and continue this journey. I'm sure you're gonna find another sneaker you like. I'll see you on that one.